Yo, what is up guys? So Plant Synchro is back in Link format, and this deck actually got first place in OCG. Keep in mind, their deck list is a little bit different, but we should be getting that ban list like tomorrow, today, later. Hopefully Konami, where is it at? But anyways, there are a lot of obscure cards that you guys might be like, what the heck is this card? I've never seen it in Plants. But the guy did get first place, so props to him, man. This is one of my favorite decks. Although this build, a little bit different than what I'm used to for Plant Synchro. But, you know, as times evolve, we've got to adapt to the future. And this card is pretty good. But anyways, let me go ahead and get started with the deck profile. I will be kind of going over some of the effects of some cards that I would say are more obscure, things that people don't normally play in a Plant Synchro deck. But let's go ahead and just jump right into it, and I'll kind of explain a little bit as we go along. So anyways, we're playing a lot of the larger princess cards. These are because you can have easy access to them with Lonefire, as well as other cards which we will get into later down the line. But pretty much these are big beaters, and they have some type of effect to prevent your opponent from doing certain things. So Talia over here has the ability to gain extra attack for each plant type monster you control, but the most important thing is plant type monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects. That's her effect. And then Marina over here has the ability to make it so if exactly one plant type monster you control and no other cards is destroyed by battle or by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target a card your opponent controls and destroy it. But this card has to be face up to activate that effect. And then the more relevant card, the card that I think a lot of people are already familiar with, which is Titanial. This was pretty much the only princess card that people actually played back when plants were actually hot. And a lot of times people just played one of them, but it's kind of an outdated card, but it's still good just in general. But it's when during either player's turn when a card or effect that targets a card or cards on the field is activated, you attribute a face-up plant type monster and negate the activation if you do destroy it. Usually what you do is you use like other fodder monsters, like things like the tokens and stuff, or you can just get rid of this and then get some tokens and you have more access to that. So this is a really good card for that. And this is not even like a once per turn effect, really good stuff. And then Churube, her effect over here is that your opponent cannot target face-up plant type monsters for attack except for this one. She doesn't have that good of attack, but she does have a big defense. But anyways, so if this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon a plant type monster from your deck. So this one's really good just to be able to get out another like big boss monster, and it could be any of them, but yeah. Next up, we have the Carrot Weight Champion. This card, he's a beast, man. I mean, he's got that championship belt. But anyways, if he's in your graveyard, you can send a plant type monster from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard, except for it itself, and then you can special summon it. You can only activate this effect once per turn, but it really helps out for making certain things, whether you're going for links or other things. Also, it's really good just to be able to get certain plants in the graveyard, whether it's Spore, Glow Up Bulb, or Dandelion specifically. Really great stuff. And then we have Botanica Line, interesting card. It makes it so it gains 300 attack for each face-up plant type monster you control, and then they can't actually switch the possession of this card. So they can't take your Botanica Line. Not that is a super relevant thing. I felt like this card was kind of a random card at first. However, it is a Earth, so the reason why, guys, he is seeing play in this deck more than likely is because he's an Earth, because I heard these cards are pretty good. But yeah, that's a main reason why he could be in here, because this does require Earth Turner and a non-tuner Earth monster. Next up, we have triple copies of Mathematician. Now, in the TCG, this card is at 1 for, I'm not sure what reason, but I think that we could definitely see some more Mathematicians in the TCG, so be on the lookout for that. Next up, the Battle Baboon. Oh, by the way, this card just lets you send a level 4 lore monster from your deck to the grave. Usually it's one of like the key cards, whether it's that, or heck, you can even do this, so you can go for some combo plays to actually, again, bring out some of the synchros in the deck. But anyways, we got the Triple Mathematician and then Battle Baboon. This helps you really go into those rank 3s quite easily, because this card has the effect where when it's normal, you can draw a card, and then you get to place one card from your hand either to the top or the bottom of the deck, and that can really help sometimes when you need to reset going for those other plays, specifically to like help make this. I know that this card is a dark and this does require Earth monsters, so you can't make it specifically with this card, but it just helps you make that card when you draw certain cards that you actually don't want to draw, because for example, these cards sometimes aren't the greatest when you don't have the trade-in, but it just helps out with consistency in the deck, so you can get the draw power to, of course, make this, which is like the key card in the deck. Anyways, this card is triggered by a battle by card effect. You can special summon another one, which can actually help you actually get out this card, which can then bring back your other level 3 monsters to actually help, again, make this, because that's the key card. That it just helps out with consistency is really what I'm saying. It doesn't, again, make this because it is actually a dark, and again, this requires earths. But anyways, next up, we have Lonefire Blossom. It's pretty much in every plant deck. It's pretty self-explanatory. It lets you tribute face a plant type monster and special summon any plant type monster from your deck, which is insane. And Value actually does count for that. And then next up we have 3 copies of Crane. Now this monster is a monster that actually lets you bring out this, but again, this really helps out for consistency. But anyways, Crane makes it so when it's normal, you get to target a level 3 monster in your graveyard and special summon that target, but its effects are negated, but that doesn't really matter too much because more than likely you're going to be using it as material for this card in the first place. Next up, one of the most important cards, Dandelion in the plant archetype. So it lets you get out 2 fluff tokens whenever it's sent to the graveyard. That could be from the deck, hand, field, whatever. As long as it hits that graveyard, you're going to be able to get those 2 fluff tokens, which can be used to synchro, can be used for links. This is the key card in the deck, and hopefully this card will even go maybe to 3. I think it would be really cool if they did that, because with the plant support that we got a while back, I just don't see plants being too viable. However, a lot of people were talking about the Predator plant, and this one didn't really play it. Now, I was kind of surprised by that. I thought if plants were going to make a comeback, it was with the whole Predator plant engine, but this one's just going for like a standard like plant synchro, although a ton of the princesses. That's a lot of potentially dead cards, but again, our boy Baboon can kind of help out with that. But anyways, next up we have 2 copies of Rose Lover. So you banish this card from your graveyard to special summon a plant type monster from your hand, and if you do, it's unaffected by your opponent's trap effects. So this can help you out with some of these cards over here, because again, these cards is not the easiest to get out with the exception of like Lonefire, or unless you're going for like a Reborn or something like that. But yeah, this is a pretty self-explanatory card. But basically, you just want to dump it in the graveyard if you can. It just helps you out with that. Anyways, next up, another key card would be Carrot Weight, because you send out a plant type and now happens to be plant one. So you basically get out this card from the graveyard and then set up this card, then banish this card, and then get out another plant from your hand. But anyways, next up, 3 Debris Dragon. It's at 2 in the TCG, but who knows? I don't think anyone's been playing 2 copies of Debris Dragon. I remember this card was super hot back when the deck was popping. But anyways, this lets you bring back a monster with 500 or less attacking your graveyard. Most of the time that is going to be your Dandelion. Really good stuff, because then you get to go into getting extra 2 tokens. It's just really optimal. Easy plays with Trishula with this card for sure. Next up we have the Mystic Maricopa Seed. Oh, by the way, even though I wanted to mention something that's really important with this card cannot be used as a synchro material monster except for the summon of a dragon type monster. The other synchro materials cannot be level 4. One really important thing that I wanted to mention with this card, even if this effect is negated, whether you use something like Skill Drain, Forbidden Chalice, on this card, you still cannot use him to be using other material. It's just part of the inherent effect that he actually has built into him. Anyways, next up we have the Mystic Maricopa Seed. So it can't be used as a synchro monster except for the synchro summon of an earth monster, but again, the most important card is probably one of these guys. But anyways, so his effect is that you can target 1 earth monster on the field and reduce its level by 1, and that can really help out to make your certain cards, specifically these. But anyways, yeah, he used a plant, so that helps out. So it's another level 1 plant tuner. Or, well, it actually is level 3, my bad. This is the level 1 tuner, Spore and Glow Up. Well, these cards are just bread and butter and plant, basically, just you're able to get rid of something and then bring these cards out. I guess Spore could technically be another higher level, but you can 1-for-1 it anyways. Glow Bulb, I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with these, so we won't go over those. But next up, Harpy's Feather Duster, self-explanatory, double copies of Dark Hole. Obviously, if we're playing the TCG, I would recommend you guys to play Raigeki instead of Dark Hole. Then we have 1 Foolish Triple Trade-In, 1 copy of Pot of Avarice, 1 copy of Reborn, 1 1-for-1, 2 copies of Twin Twister, 3 copies of Super Solar Nutrient. So you tribute a level 1 or you tribute 1 level 2 or lower plant type monster to special summon 1 plant monster from your hand or deck whose level is less than or equal to the level of the distributed monster had on field plus 3. And then when this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. When that monster leaves the field, destroy that card. This card is really good for some really crazy synchro plays. I'm going to be playing this deck later, definitely, and I'll mess around with this. I'll probably play it. If you guys aren't following me on Twitch, I'll leave a link down below. I know that this card is amazing in plants. Can really help you out with some of these more obscure plays, but specifically Lonefire makes card amazing. Anyways, next up we have Vandy's Emptiness. We have Imperial Order, double Solemn Strikes, 1 Solemn Judgment. Then we have the 1 Warning, and then triple Polynosis. This guy is like, yo, I don't want my opponent playing Yu-Gi-Oh! So he's going for those counter trap cards. Usually what you want to do is tribute like the things that like do nothing, like specifically like this to get deck texture tokens, and there you guys go. Keep in mind that Dandy has the effect where it cannot be used for a tribute summon during the turn that they are special summoned, but you know, you're not tributing for sometimes the same turn anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That effect, not that important, but sometimes it could matter, but for the most part, yeah, you can wait a turn. And you can still use them obviously for like links and stuff later on down the line. Really good stuff. So for the extra deck, we got Trish, Black Rose, Moonlight, Barkion Beasts, Break Sword, Levier, triple Melee of the Trees, 1 Dante, 1 Decode Taco, 1 Mrs. Radiant, 1 Proxy Dragon, 1 Link Karibo. For the side deck, he had some Kaijus, actually, triple Kaijus. He had the Flame, the Moth, and Gamma Seal, triple Rose Archer. This guy was like, I'm going to deal with any trap cards. So, during either player's turn, opponent activated a trap card, we control a plant-type monsters. Go ahead and negate that, man, and destroy it. And then you actually get to fill up the graveyard with another monster. However, it is a level 3, and it is an Earth. Oh, you know what? That's a pretty good card, right? Little synergy right there, going in the Melee of Trees. Next, we had the double Maxi over here, double Ash Blossom, 1 Kaiju Slumber, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, which will search out your Rose Archer. Then we have Twin Twisters, and then we have the Struggling Battle. This guy looking to do some savage work against people. Perhaps if he was going to, he goes second, gonna side deck those in, opponent commits to the board, bam, activate it, and then he's good to go. Really, really cheeky stuff indeed. But anyways, really cool to see again people are playing some plants. I'm definitely gonna be trying out this deck, and I'll let you guys know what I think of it. Now, there was only one deck that played plants that did top, so I don't know, let me know, guys. Do you guys think that this was an obscure deck, like, dude, because this guy got lucky, you know, plants aren't actually that good in 2017, or is it actually something good and it's kind of a sleeper deck? We'll have to wait and see, because sometimes what happens, guys, is one player plays like a really obscure deck, it tops once, and then that's it. Sometimes, though, one player tops once with it, people get on that hype train, and they're like, I want to play it too, and then it starts doing much better. But anyways, pretty cool, again, to see plants in 2017 making a comeback with a completely different build, with links to. I'm interested in seeing how this deck goes and its consistency, but it is a 60 card deck, so be on the lookout for some potential brick hands, man. This is Monarchs all over again. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing the vid. If you did, drop a like on it, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profiles of the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks. And hopefully we'll get that ban list tomorrow, Konami, later today. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'm signing out.